Coming up on News 2, the late Jacques Cousteau's son has been running a program called Ambassadors of the Environment, and after a ribbon-cutting ceremony, a partnership is formed with the Ritz Carlton on St. Thomas. The Senate Energy and Environmental Protection Committee assessed the status of energy and legislation. Plus, besides being beautiful to look at, many say these orchids can provide us with practical benefits, such as medicinal use. Find out why the Orchid Society keeps the show an annual tradition. Hello, welcome, and thanks for joining us on this edition of News 2. I'm Sandra Gumansing. To continue the conservation efforts of the late Jacques Cousteau, his son, Jean-Michel, has been running a program called Ambassadors of the Environment, and they've now formed a partnership with the Ritz Carlton on St. Thomas. News 2's Erica Bivens brings us details from last night's ribbon-cutting ceremony.
When I was 7 years of age, my father took me diving, together with my mother and my brother, and we were doing this every weekend.
It was there Jean-Michel, son of legendary Jacques Cousteau, the ocean explorer, learned about the need for ocean conservation and sustainable living, thus beginning his foundation, Ambassadors of the Environment.
Families can come here, individuals can come here, and of course, children.
Partnering with Ritz Carlton, the program has opened centers across the globe and now includes St. Thomas.
We actually are the 5th property to start the program, but it's going to be the 4th ongoing program here at the Ritz Carlton in St. Thomas.
So we're so happy to be here now because this is a beautiful place, and this particular building has been recycled for the program Ambassador of the Environment.
The building itself is refurbished with all sustainable materials, including many of the items inside. But the fun and education continues outdoors with their numerous activities.
Well, we'll be snorkeling daytime and nighttime. We'll be having night excursions. We'll be looking at the stars. We'll be exploring the coastline. We'll be kayaking. And then there are a lot of other activities, such as exploring the mangroves and looking at the iguanas that live there, along with a bunch of other creatures.
Yesterday's ribbon-cutting ceremony officially opened the building, which is now accepting reservations for their many activities. And everything is in line with Cousteau's mission.
Our mission is, if you protect the ocean, you protect yourself.
This is just a wonderful opportunity for us to continue our message and the Cousteau legacy.
For News 2, I'm Erica Bivens.
Now, for more information on the program or to find out the activity schedule, you can call 775-3333, extension 8450. Well, help with our energy crisis is coming in the next 14 to 18 months, according to testifiers at Friday's Senate Committee on Energy and Environmental Protection. Testifiers included members from the Public V.I.Energy Office, GSC Consulting, and WAPA, but many want relief now.
Can you tell us if there's any possibility at all of us seeing a reduction in the energy cost before the next 18 months?
I mean, the fuel market can always retract that, and we can always see an immediate price shift right there. That 14 to 18 months, which is actually pretty quick and pretty amazing. I know it's difficult for a business that's struggling to make ends meet to see that as quick, but in this industry, to get a change manifest in a year, a little over a year, is quite miraculous.
Next week, local and federal agencies will meet to discuss the territory's energy crisis. Congresswoman Christensen said both the White House and the Department of Interior have honored her requests for a meeting to address the energy crisis that has businesses closing their doors and families going without electricity. The Department of Insular Affairs is coordinating that meeting. It's scheduled for Monday. The Departments of Energy, Commerce, the USDA, and others will be present to develop a short-term strategy while long-term initiatives are being put in place for cheaper, cleaner fuels. Frederick said beaches are open to the public once again. Waste management officials say they've completed repairs to the force main sewer line that broke Wednesday. While repairs were being completed, the wastewater was directed into the gut near the Lagoon Street pump station. Officials say the waste was confined to the gut using the existing berm, so no sewage was actually discharged into Fredericksted's beaches. The closed beach signs were removed early Friday morning, and according to a waste management release, officials from DPNR have given the okay. Well, the Dominican Action Committee is getting ready to celebrate this weekend as Sunday marks the 4th annual Independence Day Parade through Christiansted Town and will be followed by a village with live entertainment to highlight the Dominican culture and history. NEWS2's Jean-Michel lets us know what's in store for this year's parade.
Hundreds are expected to occupy this field come Sunday to experience the culture of the Dominican Republic as the Dominican Action Committee is hosting their 4th annual Independence Day Parade and Village.
Celebrating our 4th parade this Sunday coming, the 24th, starting from the police station in Richmond, and we're going to end up right here when you see us today at this time with the we call La Fiesta del Pueblo.
We're going to be celebrating our 169th anniversary of independence, and it is important because it's our way of celebrating and expressing our culture.
The festivities will kick off on Sunday with the annual Dominican Parade that features various colorful and high-energy troops that will make their way to the D.C. Canagata Ballpark, where a village is set up to showcase Dominican-inspired food dishes and live entertainment.
We're going to have the Express Band as a local band. We're going to have a band, Bachata Band, Los Originales de la Bachata. We're going to have Ballet Folclórico Dominicano. We're going to have a group directly from the Dominican Republic with the merengue típico, the original merengue, that will be playing right here.
Final preparations are underway for the weekend's events. Organizers anticipate that this year's activity will likely be a fun and festive one, but more importantly, will allow others to understand the Dominican culture and people a little more.
I think it's important to know the other people's cultures, because when I know your culture, you know my culture, then it's better to understand each other.
So come join us this Sunday at 11 a.m. starting from the Basic Triangle to celebrate our Dominican 4th annual parade and experience our music, our food, and our culture.
Janisha John, NEWS2.
The Dominican Independence Day Parade begins at 11 a.m. this coming Sunday at the Basin Triangle in Estate Richmond and will end at the D.C. Canagata Ballpark. Well, while President Obama tries to turn up the pressure on Congress to stop automatic budget cuts set to take effect 1 week from today, his transportation secretary is painting a picture of what those cuts will mean for air travelers. Danielle Nottingham has the latest from Washington.
The Obama administration is warning Americans they'll feel the effects of automatic budget cuts at the airport.
If more than half of our employees are at the FAA, there has to be some impact.
Transportation Secretary Ray LaHood says the flying public will start feeling the spending cuts set to kick in next Friday by April 1st. He expects up to 90-minute delays at large airports during peak travel times, while some smaller regional airports may have to shut down altogether. He warned lawmakers that they're going to hear about it.
Their phones are going to start ringing. Why does this have to happen?
Long lines at security and flight delays could just be the start of headaches for air travelers. The Transportation Secretary says if air traffic controllers have to stay home, airlines could be forced to cancel flights. Meeting with the Japanese Prime Minister Friday, President Obama said avoiding these cuts should be a no-brainer.
Hope springs eternal, and I will just keep on making my case not only to Congress, but more importantly to the American people.
Republicans accuse the White House of using scare tactics. House Majority Leader Eric Cantor said in a statement, President Obama has said that unless he gets a second tax hike, he will be forced to let criminals loose on the street. The meat at your grocery store won't be inspected, and emergency responders will be unable to do their jobs. These are false choices. Congress returns to work next week. Danielle Nottingham, NEWS2.
And keeping our eye on the economy, stocks bounced back from a two-day sell-off after another batch of strong earnings reports. Shares of Hewlett-Packard rose more than 10%, their biggest one-day gain in more than 5 years. The struggling PC maker reported profits that were not as bad as Wall Street expected. Gasoline prices are at a record high for this time of year. AAA says gas prices have risen for 36 straight days. Nationwide, a gallon of unleaded is averaging $3.78, and that's up 49 cents in just the past month. This is the New York Stock Exchange with Scotiabank's Stock Market Watch. The Dow, NASDAQ, S&P all up. The Dow 119, NASDAQ 30, S&P 13. Coming up on NEWS2, besides being beautiful to look at, many say orchids can provide us with practical benefits such as medicinal use. Find out why the Orchid Society keeps the show an annual tradition. Plus, In our Black History Moment, this year marks the 150th anniversary of Abraham Lincoln's Emancipation Proclamation. Did you know there are copies of that document still out there? We'll tell you where. Well, it was a battle of wits early Friday morning as students from across St. Thomas made their way to Charlotte Amalie High School for the annual Law and You Academic Challenge Quiz. The event, which was organized by the Virgin Islands Police Department, featured 4 teams that represented All Saints Cathedral School, Saints Peter and Paul, Seventh-day Adventist, and Eudorican High School. The competition's goal was to test students' knowledge of the U.S. Constitution, Virgin Islands laws, and the criminal justice system.
What we're trying to extract basically is that to see who actually knows the law. You know, people randomly throw the term around as a lawless community, and we're trying to start from the core. The kids, get it into them from now that it doesn't become a lawless community in the future. And the kids are the future of our community, so we have put together this program, and they're taught various entities of the law: the police, the judicial system, the criminal justice, where they go to the jails. They've had where they went to scene autopsies, things that's going on in the law, from traffic right down to minimal things that they may think.
The Quiz Bowl results were not available at news time. Count on NEWS2 to bring you those results in Monday's newscast. Well, this year marks the 150th anniversary of Abraham Lincoln's Emancipation Proclamation. Tulsa's Gilcrease Museum has a copy of that document, actually signed by President Lincoln. In January of 1863, Lincoln issued the Emancipation Proclamation. It was a 5-page handwritten document. It freed the slaves in the Confederate States. 18 months later, in June of 1864, 48 copies were printed. President Lincoln signed each one. They were donated to the Sanitary Commission, which later would become the Red Cross. They were auctioned off at huge fairs to raise money for medical treatment of Union soldiers. There are photographs of Lincoln's second inaugural illustrations from Harper's Weekly magazine from January of 1863 and a handwritten bill of sale for 16 slaves in Columbia, South Carolina in 1857. Well, when you see champagne, glasses, cakes, flowers, and bells, you think wedding. And that's the theme of the St. Croix Orchid Society's annual flower show. The show is in its 42nd year, and it's a 3-day event that draws hundreds of people. NEWS2's Erica Parsons stopped by earlier and has that story.
I got my first orchid from my husband when we were dating, and that started the passion.
Vanessa Forbes is just one of 33 exhibitors for the St. Croix Orchid Society's 42nd annual flower show. 14 years after the orchid that sparked it all, Orchid Wedding.
Sleepless nights, actually. It was dreams of cascading white for me. And this is my exhibit, as you can see, cascading white. I also thought of maideneer ferns and what orchids I wanted to put in it.
As you can see from the different exhibits, the members did do an excellent job in following the theme. We have exhibits that have wedding beds. We have exhibits that have tuxedos on the pots representing the male. I mean, they have really done an excellent job.
The Orchid Wedding theme was 2 years in the making. This year's show has almost 250 entries and 33 exhibits.
Every year we get better and better, and we have just grown in leaps and bounds, and I have the most admiration for all of our members. They have done an amazing job.
Judging took place Friday with dozens of ribbons and trophies awarded. The members have been gardening for many years, and they say the rewards they get are more than beautiful flowers.
It is a good feeling to be, to be recognized and honored among your peers. But it's at the same time, these plants speak for themselves. It's the joy when the people come through these hallways.
To me, I call it a gift of God, because it's a way of relieving a lot of negativity. Once you're with your orchids, you forget about all the things that are happening right now on the island. Especially, you don't think about money, wapa, hobensa.
3 vendors from Puerto Rico will have plants for sale, and society members say it's a great time to start a new hobby, especially since they're looking for new members. Erica Parsons, NEWS2.
The annual flower show opened Friday at UVI's Great Hall in St. Croix. It will continue Saturday from 9 to 5 and Sunday from 9 to 3. Admission is $5. An original Betsy Campen painting will be raffled on Sunday. Well, you've seen the commercials. Lots of high-energy jumping, gymnastics, juggling, and human pyramids. Cirque Zuma Zuma is set for the Ritz Center for 2 nights starting tonight and tomorrow, Saturday at 7 p.m. More than 20 African team members will entertain the entire family. Cirque Zuma Zuma combines the magic of the African continent with the out-of-this-world excitement of a theatrical cirque performance featuring the fantastic Zuma Zuma acrobats from America's Got Talent, along with a colorfully costumed cornucopia of talented artists, South African vocalists, gunboot dancers, and contortionists. In addition to the show, an activity area is set up for children. Stick around, your News 2 AccuWeather forecast is coming up next.